What if I told you there's a country where women play with each other as a rite of passage? Elephants roam in numbers unmatched anywhere else in Africa, and the landscape transforms from a moon-like desert to a lush oasis. What if we were able to question all of our preconceived notions about intimacy and relationships? The Kung people of Botswana have been doing that for many years. The social system that these native hunter-gatherers, commonly referred to as the San, have established completely contradicts Western ideas of courtship. There is a custom at the core of Kung culture that may surprise some people and fascinate others. Before being married, young ladies are urged to have intimate relationships with one another. Not only is this practice allowed, but it is hailed as a vital component of societal cohesion and personal development. But why does the Kung place such a high value on this tradition? It all comes down to understanding and empowerment. Young Kung women develop a profound awareness of their own bodies and desires by experimenting with intimacy with other women. As they negotiate future relationships with men, this understanding turns into a potent tool. A strong sense of personal autonomy is also fostered by the exercise. Kung women are taught at a young age that they are in charge of their bodies and their decisions. Their society is woven with this idea of consent, fostering a culture that values and respects women's opinions and preferences. The Kung approach to sexuality is refreshingly open in contrast to many other cultures where such conversations are frequently forbidden or prohibited. Young individuals sometimes battle feelings of guilt or bewilderment around their sexuality in many Western nations. In contrast, the Kung tradition normalizes self-discovery and exploration. In Kung society, relationships and gender dynamics are significantly impacted by this openness. Both men and women are well aware of their personal wants and boundaries before entering into a partnership. The outcome? More equal partnerships in which each partner feels free to discuss intimacy in an honest manner. It's crucial to remember that this custom is not unique. It is a component of a larger cultural framework that emphasizes respect for one another, community, and sharing. The Kung people have succeeded in establishing a civilization in which strong social ties and individual independence live together. Many Western ideas of sexual independence and empowerment are challenged by this novel approach to intimacy and relationships. The Kung show that genuine empowerment may also result from shared experiences and group support, despite the West's tendency to associate empowerment with independence and personal preference. We are reminded that there is no one-size-fits-all method for fostering relationships and personal development. As we consider the Kung women's tradition, paths to understanding and empowerment vary throughout cultures. Botswana is undoubtedly full of surprises, from the private customs of the Kung to the competitive realm of global trade. However, none are nearly as brilliant or as dangerous as what lurks beneath the surface. How did small stones propel a whole country from poverty to wealth, and why could they now pose the biggest threat to it? With almost 40 million carats of diamonds produced in 2016 alone, Botswana's diamond industry is a major force. The nation was once among the poorest in Africa, but these dazzling gems have made it one of the continent's most stable and rich. This tale of rags to riches almost seems too good to be true, and in some respects, it may be. A new era began in the 1960s when diamonds were discovered in Botswana. This landlocked nation suddenly discovered that it was sitting on a gold mine. Soon after the government teamed up with foreign mining firms, Botswana emerged as one of the top producers of diamonds worldwide. However, there is a price for removing these valuable stones. Both open pit and underground diamond mining techniques are used in Botswana, and both can have a major negative influence on the ecosystem. Water contamination, soil erosion, and habitat degradation are all possible outcomes of the process. It serves as a sobering reminder that even the most exquisite gems can have a flaw. To its credit, the government of Botswana has worked hard to harness its diamond wealth for the benefit of its citizens. Their substantial investments in healthcare, education, and infrastructure have greatly raised the standard of living for many residents. The resource curse that has befallen many other natural resource-rich African countries is a far cry from this. But there are drawbacks to Botswana's reliance on diamonds. Although the business has led to previously unheard of levels of riches, it has also dangerously increased the nation's reliance on a single resource. The entire economy of Botswana is shaken by changes in the price of diamonds around the world. It's a dangerous situation for any country. The officials of Botswana have been aggressively trying to diversify the economy in recognition of this risk. They are making investments in industries such as manufacturing, financial services, tourism, and agriculture. The objective is to build a more robust economy that can withstand fluctuations in the world diamond market. However, there is still a contentious discussion concerning sustainable resource management, as Botswana continues to exploit its diamond resources. How can the nation strike a balance between social duty, environmental preservation, and its economic needs? Although there are no simple answers to this complicated subject, Botswana must consider it as it determines its future. Imagine an area where elephants are allowed to roam freely in greater numbers than are found any place else on the planet. What if I told you that this same nation was once in danger of completely losing its wildlife? Here in Botswana, we are witnessing a conservation success story that has never been seen before. The method used by Botswana to conserve its wildlife is both distinctive and successful. The high-value, low-impact tourist approach is one that the government has adopted. The goal of this strategy is to draw in fewer, wealthier travelers who are prepared to shell out more money for unique wildlife encounters. Botswana maximizes the economic benefits of tourism while reducing its negative environmental effects by restricting the number of visitors. Botswana's national parks and reserves are the center of the country's wildlife paradise. Visitors can see these magnificent animals in their natural environment at Chobe National Park, which is home to one of Africa's greatest elephant populations. The Okavango Delta, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is arguably the most valuable of Botswana's protected areas. The Okavango Delta becomes a verdant sanctuary with a tangle of lagoons, islands, and channels during seasonal floods. From crocodiles and hippos to an incredible variety of bird species, this watery wonderland is home to a wide range of wildlife. There, predators and prey engage in a never-ending dance of survival as nature's drama plays out every day. Botswana has made progress in conserving its wildlife, but there are still many obstacles to overcome. Conflict between people and animals is still a major problem, especially in places where communities reside close to animal habitats. Particularly, elephants have the potential to seriously harm property and crops, creating conflict between conservation objectives and human needs. Additionally, poaching still poses a threat to Botswana's fauna. To counter this menace, the nation has, nevertheless, put creative solutions into place. These include the deployment of skilled anti-poaching troops and the utilization of cutting-edge technologies like drones for observation. Involving locals in wildlife protection and making sure they gain from conservation initiatives are two other important functions of community-based conservation initiatives. The result of these efforts is evident. The greatest elephant population in the world is currently found in Botswana. This outstanding accomplishment demonstrates the nation's dedication to preserving its natural heritage and the efficacy of its conservation measures. It's important to highlight the sharp contrast between Botswana's contemporary metropolitan centers and these expansive wilderness areas while we marvel at the country's success with wildlife. This contrast between wild nature and growing towns emphasizes Botswana's special status as a country that aims to strike a balance between development and preservation, urbanization, and environmental preservation. You have witnessed the wild side of Botswana, but this African treasure has another side. Imagine a setting where young digital entrepreneurs code under the shade of old baobab trees and tribal chiefs convene in contemporary parliaments. Welcome to the urban transformation in Botswana, where modernity and tradition dance a delicate waltz. The capital of Botswana, Gaborone, is evidence of the country's quick change. The skyline is dotted with sleek skyscrapers that reflect the strong African sun on their glass facades. The city is crisscrossed by broad, tree-lined avenues that are crowded with well-dressed professionals and contemporary cars. However, a short drive from the city center will take you to rural villages where old customs still prevail, and life moves at a considerably slower pace. One of the most distinctive aspects of contemporary Botswana is the sharp contrast between country heritage and urban modernism. International eateries, retail centers, and nightclubs can be found in Gaborone. However, if you travel to the countryside, you may come across a traditional Tswana wedding, complete with colorful clothing and customs that date back many years. The political landscape of Botswana is almost as remarkable as its natural beauty. The nation has been a stable, multi-party democracy since achieving independence in 1966, which is uncommon in an area that frequently experiences political unrest. In order to draw in international investment and promote economic expansion, this stability has been essential. But Botswana faces a unique set of problems as a result of its fast urbanization. Urban infrastructure is overburdened as more people move to cities in pursuit of opportunities. The administration is working to solve urgent problems such as the expansion of informal settlements, traffic congestion, and housing shortages. Botswana is working hard to protect its unique cultural legacy in the face of this rapid transformation. In large cities, traditional crafts, music, and art are displayed in museums and cultural institutions. In order to maintain the vibrancy of the national language despite globalization, children are taught both English and Setswana in schools. The two main pillars of Botswana's development agenda are education and technology. The nation boasts one of Africa's highest literacy rates because to significant investments in its educational system. A culture of technical innovation is being fostered by programs such as the Botswana Innovation Hub, which inspire young Botswana to create solutions for regional and worldwide problems. Botswana has set high standards for sustainable growth in the future. The nation wants to invest in renewable energy, diversify its economy beyond diamonds, and provide universal access to healthcare and education. These objectives represent an affluent, just, and ecologically sustainable Botswana. It is evident from considering Botswana's history that this country holds a special place in Africa. It is a nation that has worked to preserve its environment and wildlife while utilizing its natural resources for national growth. It is a location where democratic ideas have become deeply ingrained and where modern technology coexists with traditional customs. The story of Botswana dispels a lot of stereotypes about African countries. It's a story about change, resiliency, and striking a careful balance between respecting the past and looking to the future. We are left with a crucial question as we come to the end of our tour of this incredible nation. How can other countries take inspiration from Botswana's example in negotiating the challenging course of 21st century development?